thinking about this podcast and everything that it is to me. And I feel like rarely do I step outside of it, and I'm like, dang, like, I'm doing this whole thing because I'm in everything and I'm everywhere with it. But I sat down today, literally just planning my events for 2026, and I was thinking, with the website launch, I've been like, oh, I need to do it this month. It's like, okay, well, I'll do it in February. I don't know if it will be in February. It'll probably be in March or something. But I'm like, just thinking about, and I literally just sat here for like 15 minutes and just planned out the entire event, activations, giveaways, sponsorships, everything. And I'm thinking about, I've never done like a whole brand activation before. And it is really exciting me to like see who I'm going to partner with and what I'm going to do. But like, even more so, I'm really emotional about the fact that like the idea of me celebrating 2 years of Very Much So Pod is wild to me. And I think about like where I am with it and what it is. And it's been like 2 years. It started February 10th, like in the middle of the night, maybe like 12 o'clock, maybe even like 2 o'clock. Could not sleep, just brain is on and wheels are turning, and I'm just like, bro, I have to get this out of my head. I had the inkling to do to change it from Thank Me Later Pod to Very Much So Pod, and it was like that for a little bit. And then I was like, and actually I really have to check my email, because I'm like, I think I may have changed one of the auxiliaries first. Like maybe I changed it to Very Much Reading first, or maybe I changed it to Very Much Outside first. It was maybe Outside, and then I had changed one, and then I was just thinking, I got up, I changed the other, and I was just thinking, I got up, and I was like, oh, the whole podcast needs to change. And so it became Very Much So Pod from that, and I felt like I had the world in front of me with how I saw everything going. I just felt like I got the whole vision, and I'm going to do this in this year, and it's going to be so big. It's going to grow so fast. It's going to be like, I know exactly what I'm going to do. And it's so funny because even with Thank Me Later Pod, I started off as one page, and then I grew it maybe to the second page. And then I think the last thing I kind of separated or niched down was travel. And then I did that page, and this is I feel so proud to be celebrating Very Much So, and I only have Very Much So because of everything I learned and just started doing bit by bit with Thank Me Later. And mind you, at this point, I wasn't even posting a lot on either page, and God is just so good. And it's just like, every day he is teaching me just to be obedient, because of course, like, I may have saw certain things, didn't really know how I was going to enact it, but I was just like, okay, well, like, let me do it. I had 3 Instagram pages. Now I probably have like 11, 12 pages plus Thrifting app, 6 different, definitely 2 YouTube channels. And that's growth, even though 2024 went so differently than I could have ever anticipated. But again, God goes before us, so it went exactly the way that it should have. It was also just very devastating to me, a lot of like what I was going through and the things that were ending and how they had ended. And I left 2024 very much feeling like, okay, I survived this. Like, I don't know how I came out on that other side. It was only through and by the blood of Jesus that I'm here. You feel me? I'm even just processing now. Last year, I couldn't pay my mortgage. It was the first month within like my whole unemployment, where that whole year where I was like, okay, like, I actually need to ask somebody for money because I cannot pay this. And I wasn't even home last year. I was at Jasmine's dog sitting Ace. And so it's interesting to even be in my house right now. The first year, me as a single person. I went grocery shopping today. Woke up late, spent Christmas Eve with Joy yesterday. And it's like, God is just so good, because I really appreciate him always making sure that I'm just like surrounded by love all the time. He is so intentional. Anyway, it really means a lot for me to be celebrating like Very Much So Pod's 2-year anniversary. Like, I wanted to do something this year, 2025, because it was like our 1 year, and I wanted to make it big. But I was like, bruh, I'm barely I think I was like 1 or 2 checks in at that point. Like, what, huh? So I didn't do anything, and my basement wasn't even fixed yet. And God is so good. I'm just really excited to celebrate, because the amount of growth that the podcast has had over the past 2 years. And I think it's so easy for me. Like, of course I know that I'm doing something, but it's just so easy for me to not think that I am. And so this is an operation ran by God himself, me, team of one, of course, tons of help from my family and friends, but you talking about producing the output and executing on things like from day to day, a team of one. And in less than 2 years, I've been able to secure $4,000 in grants for Summer Bucket List, which is something that I've been very like, I processed it. Like, when it happened, I was like, okay, God's doing his big one. Then the next couple of days, I was like, wow, I just won a grant. That is $4,000. I don't have to come out of my pocket. And the impact can be so much bigger. The planning, I have to start planning. Like, the way I wrote that proposal, baby, the work starts now. But it's like in less than 2 years, I've been able to like secure a grant, secure sponsorships with Trader Joe's, of all people, being my first. With this event, I'm writing up a ton of other ones that I'm like, I need sponsorship for this, I need this, I need this, I need that. And I just grew to over, for the Very Much So Pod, which I have 2 pages. So I has just started using this other page later than when I even originated the podcast, because maybe that was from Very Much So. I ended up creating our own page separate from Thank Me Later. That page is at 1,500 in terms of like followers, over probably 400k likes. Thrifting Yap has 90, maybe 100 something on TikTok, 20k likes, I think 90 or 20 followers on Instagram. Thrifting Yap has 22 subs. Very Much So Pod has 360 subs on YouTube. On Very Much Outside page, we have almost 500. And mind you, Very Much Outside page, I think I used the old Thank Me Later page to start building. So that was not from 0, but it was maybe like 300. I'm not sure. I recently started, I was so nervous to go back to it, because I'm like, man, I'm gonna have to get on there, unfollow so many people, block so many people, and it. The solution really is to just unfollow and block people. You see somebody you like, just block. And I needed to do that in order to start posting freely. I've had quite a few, like, that page is doing really well. Quite a few videos have blown up. And at this point, I've hosted Summer Bucket List twice. So about 10 events produced and co-hosted by me. Majority of the funding by me, hosted at my house, which I pay for. So hosted by, like, $4,000 grant, sponsorship. The community has grown. When, like, newsletter, I got nearly 100 people on my newsletter, a live website, and I just really gotta thank God, because who but him? And for 2 years to do what I'm doing, being a team of one, undergoing a massive brand, like, look at, and mind you, that relationship ended halfway through 2024. So do I feel like God was like, girl, this cannot take away from what you're building? Yes, I do. And I say all the time, I'm building something. Like, when it comes to like dating now, I'm like, If it's not giving nothing, I don't have time because I'm building something. Like, I am doing something over here. And I say it so much, and it always feels like I'm not doing enough. But now sitting here just kind of looking at the data, like, I know numbers related to my podcast, and the number alone of anything being more than one is a beautiful thing. Being even one is beautiful to me. Started Patreon this year. I haven't even fully rolled that out, but there's a website on there. I have like 2 more exclusives I want to put on there. It's just about editing, but it's audio only, so I'm gonna do it. But I have 2 paid subs, and I am intentional about, I don't ever want to charge for summer bucket list, but some of these other things, baby, yeah. Like the event, the website launch, birthday party, I'm so excited to bring Very Much So Pod to people. Like, I'm very, maybe I should have some ambassadors. Yeah, we're gonna call my team the ambassadors that day. I'm gonna get them a little kit. Where should I write this? Ambassadors. They receive like a PR box. I definitely will be planning my own wedding. I definitely want a partner, but I'm going to plan my own wedding. Because I think I get so excited about events because they're just mini weddings. It's just like, it just gives you the joy of planning like a wedding like 1,000 times. Just nobody's getting married, but am I married to this podcast? This podcast is my baby. This podcast is absolutely my baby. And I'm the mom of a toddler. I am the mom of a toddler at this point. Starting to speak. Starting to walk, baby. Getting them legs, baby. So, running for it. Like, period. This bitch is moving. I say all that to say, shit is moving, shit is jumping, and I would be nowhere without God. I would be nowhere without my community. I am also moving next year, and I think I've kind of been in denial about the fact I've been planning my podcast and just how I want it to look, how I want it to feel. Like, the vision, it looks so clear. And I know execution is going to be a thing of its own, but I see it. And I'd be a fool not to say that, number one, I want to move to New York because I want to move to New York. I want to be in New York. I love New York. I have always wanted to move there. There are a few places that I tell people all the time, yeah, I'll move there. Nashville, I came back from Nashville. Nashville will be seeing me. But New York is up, and it's been her turn. Only 3 hours away, I think. And I just thank God, because in every period of my life, New York has kind of been there. Like, I remember teaching. I was a resident teacher, and so I taught first grade. And the next year, in order to have a job, they were like, oh, well, you're going to have to teach science. And I was like, don't really want to, but okay. And I truly think that was an example of how God will use something meant for evil and use it for good. Like, y'all know how it is. Y'all don't know how it is, but ask your teacher friends how it is working in a school where they don't really care about you. They don't care about your preferences. They don't care about none of that. And so I remember receiving the offer to be a science teacher, and I was thinking, like, I don't have no science background. My degree is in psychology and family science. You want me to teach science? Okay. And it was kind of just like, yeah, those are your options. And like, this is the only option we have for you here. So if you don't want it, then you'll have to, like, let me know by this date. If not, we can hire somebody else. And so at that point, I was like, well, I guess I'm a science teacher. God gave it to me. He must want me to do it. And it was really an example of strapping up my boots, lacing up my boots, and getting in the fucking field and locking in. I was like, I don't know nothing about this. I got to know something to teach it. I became a student. And I'm very grateful for that opportunity and the lesson, because it really did teach me how to be a student, and the fact that I'm humble enough to know, like, I don't know. I'm humble enough to know that I don't know everything. I don't know certain things, but I could learn. And so there were certain, like energy units on energy. And I'm like, okay, I don't know what I don't know. I would type in the unit, elementary, get it broken down in an elementary way. Then I can get it in my mind to make it relevant for the kids. I can get in my mind certain, mind you, I'm a brand new teacher. My background is not in teaching either. My background is in psychology. And so I taught in DC at that, which I'm pretty sure 90% of the reason I was even hired as a teacher was because of my psychology background. So they say psych is not a good degree, and people who talk about the liberal arts, it's been honestly my best career choice. And that's kind of funny saying out loud because and also I'm gonna just say about my experience in psychology, I didn't just have a psych degree. I was in a program at Towson. It was a cohort of like 10. It was like a specialized program within the psychology major. You had to like apply and get accepted to it. The professor was like a badass, a consultant psychologist for a lot of popular films. There was one film that came out when I was in college about this guy, M. Night Shyamalan. She was like a consultant to him. So very fucking cool lady that I'm learning from. And that was the clinical psychology cohort. I had an internship at Catholic Charities School. It was like kind of one of those schools where, like an alternative school in Baltimore County. I also was a tutor counselor for UMBC during the summer. Even though I didn't have a background in education, with my psychology degree, I, had experience in a classroom, literally. And so could not have written this, because if you ask me what I wanted to do in like high school, I just kept saying psychology. Nowadays, and I want to get my MBA, and I'm just speaking, I want to get my MBA because I feel like this may be, I don't know if this is my final degree. If you know me, I'm really a nerd, and so I would love to get my PhD in something related to like women's studies and like African American studies, that kind of thing, so I can write my feminist/womanist dissertation once and for all and related to like music and romantic love and the family structure in the Black community, just once and for all. I want to get it. Definitely want to get my MBA from a HBCU. So I want that HBCU to be Howard University, and so that is kind of on my purview for the next I don't know when. I'm guessing within 1 to 3 years. I pray that God lets me see that to achieve that goal. But it's like I could not have written this because I thought I was just going to be a clinical psychology and it was just going to be that. But my experience in Baltimore City, watching other clinical psychologists and psychiatrists, I was like, oh, this is like, there are a lot of systemic issues at play when it comes to poverty, when it comes to the healthcare system, when it comes to being Black in Baltimore with a mental health condition. You know what I mean? It was very grim. I've told this story, my first testimony for my career, but I was working at it's just so fun. Like saying these things out loud, you cannot write this story. It is a God-written story. Get to University of Baltimore, which is a school that I barely got in. Which actually, University of Baltimore was the only school that accepted me, because I just knew so deep in my heart, again, I'm in this program at Towson, I'm going to be a clinical psychologist. I'm applying to master's degree programs for clinical psychology, and I'm getting rejected every which way I turn. Took the GRE, got pretty good scores, getting rejected every which way. And I don't really remember being that sad about it, because I think there was something in me that felt like it was the only option that I had kind of truly explored. But I wasn't like necessarily tied to it or excited about it. It wasn't going to be cheap, that was for sure. So I don't know, I was just kind of like, I don't really remember being sad about all of the rejection. Anywho, I get into University of Baltimore, and I remember the day I got accepted, I had a big bush, which I just cut my hair now. I'm editing a YouTube video, and spoiler, I talk about the fact that some of the best hair I've had was when I grew it out from high school into college. it was virgin. So like I did not dye it, did not bleach it. It just grew out of my scalp. I just kept getting protective styles. Was not even taking the best care of it. Not gonna lie. Not gonna lie. Everything was DIY and what I could do in my college dormitory. I went to high school with a friend from Towson. Her name was Gonto. Shout out to Gonto. I do not know if she listens to the pod. And she would do my hair. Like literally, I remember there was like one. And y'all wonder why I love a bust down now. I remember, and there was like a snowstorm in Towson, and she did my hair, baby. Those were some of my first bust downs. Long 1B bust down small. And Gonto had been doing my hair, I feel like, I want to say maybe like the end of, I want to say after high school, I don't know. And she never really wanted to accept anything, but I would always pay her what I could. Was I rich? No. And so maybe the most I ever had at a time to pay was like 60, 70, and I would give those to her. But baby, she had my hair looking the fuck good. Gonto, I don't know if I've ever fully thanked you for your services. Salute. Okay, she would do like help me with my Marley twists, box braids. Those were really, it was really giving knotless even before. She has a skill, y'all. I need to learn how to braid, child. Anywho, that was some of my best hair. So I had a bush, and I had a random Towson t-shirt on, leggings, Crocs, and I remember like just opening the letter, and then I had went to like a Towson. Yes, I fully remember this day. Towson had like a little cookout, so it was like a little Greek cookout. I brought my little bottle, my little concoction bottle with my bush. Actually, I have a picture of this. I will post this when I post about this episode. And then I get into University of Baltimore. Again, no clue how I'm finna pay for it. So I'm applying to assistantships. Mind you, it's like May. School is to start in like August. I'm applying to assistantships. I go through the whole career, the whole interview process for a assistantship in the career center. And I could tell they really like me, but they go with somebody else. And they had like invited me in to tell me, and it was just like very respectful. Office full of black professionals, like they were amazing. And just really respecting me as a candidate, which honestly now, don't call me nowhere to reject me. But I really, really respected it at the time. And you could tell, like, and of course, like, if you're gonna, this is just a spoiler, if you're gonna make friends with anybody in a place, baby, do it at the career center. If you want people to know you and have your back, the career center, the context they have, crazy. Me, not even thinking about that, but just hindsight being 2020, which is probably why they were so intentional about like maintaining a good relationship. And you know, they told me that. I was like, okay, well, you know, I'm sad about that. Next thing I know, and actually, I don't know if I'm thinking about them calling me in for, I'm pretty sure they called me in to reject me. Anywho, fast forward to a couple days later, they end up emailing me like, hey, Brittany, like, we decided to create something for you because, you know, like, we loved you so much. And so we just really wanted you to be in this. We want you to be here. We want you to be in this role, da-da-da. They created that for me. Like, I honestly owe them so much. And she was the director at the time. Black woman. There were 2 grown black guys there, work like the rest of the office full of other college students, like really kind people. And I think that's another just testament to God. And it's like, there is nothing he can't do. There is no door that he cannot open. And what's for you is for you. Even if they gotta pull something out of a hat and make something for you, like, it's going to be for you. And you can apply that to jobs, friends, relationships, cities, places. Like, what's for you is just truly for you. There's nothing you can do that can stop God blessing you and just going down the path he wants you to go down. And it just was clearly so important for God to have me there, because mind you, I'm here at the Career Center, but my program is psychology. Like, thank God I don't have to like pay for school now, you know, with the assistantship, but I was learning psychology, really training to be a therapist. At the Career Center, they make you take a career test, and through the career test, top 2 was like teach. I was like, okay, yeah, I think I'm gonna do that. And honestly, again, y'all, utilize your career friends, utilize career centers. It, like, they had me take some type of test, and I don't think I had ever done that in my life. And it really gave like descriptions. It pulled like things together, and it was like, yeah, you know, you would be really good at this. By this time, I had experience with Upward Bound, being a tutor counselor. Mind you, I wasn't teaching anything, but I was just like working with like older kids at that. Even the program that I got into with KIPP was extremely competitive. Extremely. Like, I knew people who were interviewing to be like KIPP DC residents, CTRs they call them, and did not get it. And I want to say, I remember the first day of that program, it was like they only accepted 90 out of like 1,000, or it was a number, like very selective group of folks. Again, I feel like they selected me because of my psychology background. So anywho, just a way to see things work together. It could only be God writing the story. Teaching, which got me into marketing, but we'll get there. Through teaching, and through teaching science specifically, I had just took it so seriously that, you know, we would have certain, like, when we had a trip to go to like a KIPP school in New York to like really observe their classes and meet the teachers. And it was such a cool thing, which is funny now because they say that going on work trips are really like brand trips. It was really a brand trip because of course they pay for the hotel, they pay for the train up there. Like, it was a brand trip before brand trips were even. And I was so happy. We went to go see, what's that, Neil deGrasse Tyson in New Jersey. We had like caught the Neil deGrasse Tyson. We had caught like the PATH train into New Jersey to go to this place to watch that, to hear him speak. So it was a fun trip. And then also through teaching science, you know, I started the science club. I started the YouTube channel for Science Club. I had an Instagram for Science Club. I won a grant at KIPP for Science Club. What else? Like, science really just opened the door for me to so many things, with the best one being, or one of the best, because of course working with those kids was a gift, and that was something that I really, really love to do. Like, had COVID not happened, I would probably still be working in education. I really loved it. When COVID happened, remote learning also became a thing. With remote learning, science teachers had this thing called master teacher, and that's where you pretty much help to shape the curriculum for, you know, science for KIPP, period, or maybe even just like KIPP DC, or just like your district, region, whatever. But with COVID, with remote learning, it changed things. It went to, oh, you gotta be willing to record the content in addition to like help shaping it and like really make this format work for virtual learning, both asynchronous and synchronously. I applied, I got the opportunity to do it. That is where I learned how to edit videos. Like, I worked in iMovie. I remember I turned over like my first video to him with like me reading the script and all these things. He, you know, had a meeting with me and he gave me feedback, and he was like, this is like the master, one of the other master teachers kind of like mentoring me. And he was like, yeah, like you see in iMovie where it's like that dead space, you can just like cut that out. And I was like, okay. And then like ever since then, like of course my videos got better for like national consumption. Because you know it's your girl. It was a 3rd grade unit, y'all. It was so cute. That was just great experience to me having a YouTube channel. And I think I created my YouTube like the months later. With everything I was doing through teaching, it led me to believe that I could work as a UX designer / researcher after leaving teaching. The way that door kept closing, I was like, oh, okay, not supposed to be doing this. I did a boot camp that was free. So many people paid thousands for a boot camp. Now, was it a little rinky-dink? Yes, but it was free. And so I learned a lot through that. I had like a portfolio piece through that. I was also in like a UX mentorship program, and also had a fellowship related to just being a UX designer / researcher. It still wasn't enough to like get a UX job at that point. From June 2022, I decided to like stop applying, stop interviewing. And I decided to do the podcast, Thank Me Later. And, you know, already have spoken about how Thank Me Later has kind of grown into now what is very much so 2 separate entities. If you want to listen to Thank Me Later pod episodes and just kind of see the baby podcaster in me, click there and enjoy. I am working this year to very much be intentionally a different type of podcaster. I feel like I've really been finding my footing with podcasting Funny enough, in these 2 years are very much so, because it's not just a podcast. It's like, is it lifestyle, y'all? It's a brand. And so I've been not just the podcaster of the brand, I've been the brand strategist. I've been the CMO, CEO, all the things. I want to focus on in 2026, actually having the podcast like shine brighter and be like more consistent, more coherent, more streamlined, and organized. Like even me recording this as an audio, I want to be intentional about this being like a video first podcast, which I want to leave room for my whimsy, so we'll see. But there are some things that I talk about, or that I want to talk about, that I'm like, no, I want that to have, film behind it, video behind it. So I have again, with the vision and the way I want things to look, and with going back to me moving to New York, I'm just like, I'd be lying if I said that was not exciting to me, to like continue to build this brand from DCPG to NYC. And I'm excited with this party that I'm throwing, this launch party, how it could just grow in audience, grow in people who are like, just walking this journey with me, other creatives. I am excited to meet more creatives, because I'm even like, I need to design my studio, and I do know a few creatives in set design, so I'm a big DIY girl, but I think there is power in like kind of calling on other people for certain things. I don't have to do every damn thing now, child. It's really exciting to be at this phase of this podcast where it's like my stats are so beautiful and I'm just growing so much in a really positive way, and I just really love this for me. I'm just really thankful for God. Even right now, like my content has been doing so well. I've grown, and it's just funny because when you think about never being too late for God, in like these wee days of 2025, God is like growth. I have a few videos sitting at like over 10K views, like crazy engagement. Like I posted a random video of me rapping Number One Rule by Megan Thee Stallion, and when I tell you, every time I open this app, people are reposting it. People are commenting. Like we are really, really going back and forth. And it's over like 4K likes, 200 saves, 143 comments. And again, I am a marketing girly. Just to wrap that story up about UX, it taught me a lot of good things about like user experience that I then used for my podcast / marketing. My first marketing job was in New York City. Which is why I'm like, I don't think anybody is really surprised that like I'm moving to New York, because it's been a part of my life. Like God has made that clear. It has been a part of my life, y'all. So I was going back and forth. Honestly, I don't think I really appreciated it at the time. I had a cool ass job that like I was getting flued out to New York like every month pretty much, and not flued out, but train, hotel, corporate car. Like it was so cool. And unfortunately, the experience wasn't the best in a ton of ways. But even quitting that job, I started my own agency where I started doing social media for local businesses. So again, God will turn what others meant for evil and turn it for your good. Even last year with the summer bucket list, my first event was the last week of June. The engagement was broke off July 1st. I had an event also the next day. I went to Essence, and then I continued the rest of the summer bucket list events the next week. Between Essence and summer bucket list month 2 starting, my basement flooded. Mind you, unemployed. And so, summer bucket list 1 wrapped up with like a really sweet cookout. My friend surprised me with like a nice cake, and it was really dope. And then like this past year with summer bucket list, though it was like very different from what I thought it would be, because I was working 2 jobs, child, and living my life and being outside. I think I had at least 4 or 5 events. But to now, like winning the grant, I think I really just say all this to say is, even when you feel like you don't know what's happening, even when you feel like things are all over the place, or you don't know what's next, even in the midst of uncertainty, baby, you really just have to lock in with God. Like, you cannot avoid surrendering and giving everything you have to God. last year, November, I had just started the process for the job I have now. It happened really quick. Like, I applied, I reached out to the hiring manager, the recruiter connected with me on LinkedIn. I had an interview that Monday, and then for the next 2 consecutive Mondays. So it happened within like a 3-week span. Me being unemployed for almost a year. But when I got hired, it happened like very quick. And even this job, like, I just came back from New York last month, right before Friendsgiving. I think I talk about this in the Friendsgiving episode, but New York air just does something to me. Like, I'm just the most confident boss bitch you ever did see. And it's just something about that city that really like inspires me and motivates me. And I think it'll be phenomenal for my health to be living in a walkable city. I am tired of the DMV. I'ma just keep it so real. I'm so tired of it. The drivers get on my fucking nerves. I really don't like going a lot of places because I ain't trying to run into a whole lot of people, and I like peace. I don't be wanting to run into people. I just don't, and it feels like now the DMV is feeling smaller and smaller. I never really go out a ton anyway because I think I'm just in general just tired of. I never really clubbed here, so I'm not gonna say I'm tired of it per se. I think there is a lot of fun for me to have here, but I think I just may need a little break from it, and that's okay. Because I'm not gonna hold you. When everything happened last year, I was like, oh, I need to get away. I need to leave this country for real. That's how I felt. But now I'm like, I gotta definitely leave the state. Like, it's just time for me. I think even me like cutting my hair short is so funny because, mind you, unplanned, but I think I just really needed, like, I'm stepping into a new part of Brittany. And everything that come in 2026, it ain't finna be no old shit. It's finna be some new shit. And I'm finna step like I ain't never stepped before. And I think there is just a huge beauty in growing your skill set and evolving. And I think the launch party and the website launch in and of itself is just going to really be an evidence of my evolution as a creative. Because mind you, when the podcast started, I really didn't consider myself a creative. Even teaching, I didn't consider myself a creative. Mind you, I'm being like kind of attracted to every type of opportunity that is involved in creating. And even when I was a master's teacher with Kip, and as a science teacher, I want to say, and I'm going to say it, I really revolutionized the way we were doing science in them classrooms. It was new to the district. And Kip in general and Kip DC, like the materials we were given to do science were very lackluster. But because, again, I was just a student of what I was doing, and I took educating these black kids very seriously. I was like, I need to know the minutia of every single morsel of information so that I can seriously know it in order to seriously, put on my pedagogical hat and deliver it in a way that's effective. And I really was doing up my PowerPoint slides. That's how I learned Canva, because I was just taking from the templates and redoing it for science. So I always tell people I have such a beautiful, a unique background, even with my marketing experience. And, I immediately kind of got a job out of teaching into marketing once I really started applying and even knew that was what my skills were really valued, which every industry, but especially marketing. Even when it came to the second job I have in marketing now, Summer Bucket List was a huge pull. My podcast continues to be a huge pull. Every job I have gotten really loves the fact that I have a podcast. I say this often because, again, I took that out of just taking a break from UX, but I think the fact that I even have a UX background into marketing plays in and of itself. Add that on to education and what it really means to teach 400 children a year. Yeah. So I say all that to say it feels good to say out loud, I guess, what I've always known is that God has his hand on me and on this beautiful baby of a podcast and this beautiful thing that I'm building. Shout out to the creatives. My job now also paid for me so I went to New York last month for my job for an energy conference. I kind of forced myself there because I was like, New York, yes. And did I have a moment? And, I have tons of Carrie Bradshaw moments in New York. But last month, I really was having my Carrie Bradshaw moments. I have videos of me being like, oh, yeah, I'm about to move here. And like off no corny cliche shit, but I just felt like, oh my gosh, yay, like this is my place. Like I have to be here. Like I just have to. I walked from the place where we were having a holiday party to a vinyl bar called no, it's not a vinyl bar, it's kind of like a music bar, a jazz bar. They have like a DJ. It's like a curated musical experience. Went there, was keying it up with the hostess and just doing stuff solo. Went, ate my little sushi bowl, had a glass of wine, and just like listened to a really great selection of music. So that was in November, but for October, the job that I have now paid for me to go to CultureCon, which is like the biggest conference for Black creatives, period. That was such a transformative experience for me. One, just the full circle of me being unemployed for so long and now being at a job that's like paying for me to travel to get this knowledge. Again, in New York, in Brooklyn, to be around folks who are also building things and are also hella creative. Even just seeing DMV creatives be in a space like that. So it's like we're from the DMV, but now we're in New York and we're around like the nation of Black creatives. Like it's people that come across my TikTok all the time, huge platforms, like really good at what they do. I was just like shoulder to shoulder with at CultureCon. The To Us guy, I saw him like very randomly and I was like, To Us. He was like, To Us. I was like, ah. And this year alone, twice I've been to New York, not really had to pay for it. Like, you know, and I'm praying for a company that is going to relocate me and or just a fully remote job. We actually would really want that relocation. So I need to get to it, babes. If you're listening to this with the power to hire me in New York, it must be 6 figures and a very cute benefits. But yes, hit me up. Yeah, like the confirmation I've gotten about New York, and it's just been kind of embedded into my story, just like kind of the thread of me being a creative has been embedded in my story. And I feel really thankful for what these 2 years have. They been easy? No, not at all. And I just but it's one of those things where you just feel really blessed and lucky to be doing something that the things I really complain about is the things that I'm going to have to just start paying for the convenience of just like having my house clean, meal prep, things like that, because it's having to do all those things while working full time and doing this is just like, bruh, come on now. And this is also why random, but I think about me being partnered with somebody and like even being married to somebody and like what marriage will actually look like for me, because I am building this and I am very dedicated to my craft and my career and what that may look like for me with partnership. And if I don't know one thing, I know one thing for sure. I need to be taken care of. I don't want no man to come over here and see what I'm doing and then have the audacity to want me to take care of them. No. I will in a lot of really good ways, but all that, if you think Beyonce caters to you is going to be playing from the speakers every day and I'ma be putting your do-rag on, let me not. I'm just saying, like, if I need to pay for convenience when it comes to cooking and cleaning and possibly laundry, y'all, I don't want to be at the phase where I'm paying for laundry, because I'm telling you, nothing is wrong with my laundry, but folding is like, I don't want that chore. Future husband, if you're listening, I'm not folding no clothes, babe. I hope you enjoy that task, or I hope you are okay with paying for it. It's simply like, no. I'm sitting here, I need to actually get off of this, so I've cleared my schedule today outside of bed rotting because I need to fold my clothes. And the clothes just keep piling up. Parents, shout out to y'all, because oh my gosh, shout out to the ancestors. How did y'all do it? Anywho, yeah, it's just so interesting to me because for the past 2 years, especially with Summer Bucket List, like even me being unemployed at the time where I was like executing all of that and building that, it was still pretty much a full-time job. I had to intentionally take days off just so I didn't burn out. It's a lot to do. Being a social media manager for who knows how many pages, but specifically Very Much So Pod, at Very Much Reading, at Very Much Outside, editing YouTubes, promoting the episodes, still traveling because I have a life to live. And it's like people ask me what the podcast is about. Like I can just only say my life because I got my life to live. I got one life to live and I gotta talk about it. And I'm just always so inspired by life and music. I'm thankful just to be able to like say all these things out loud. I think it's very important to like document my growth and to like celebrate myself. But I was saying there are definitely days even now where it's like I work, I take a breather for a little bit and I'm right into the podcast. I'm writing newsletters. I'm doing the work of probably like 5 or 10 and this year I was building a website. So I was in the mentorship program. Shout out to Katrina. So just, again, continue to be a student. Continue to just try to better myself. But as I say all this, thank God I'm not in that relationship. Thank God I'm not married. Can you imagine? Especially being married to him. God was like, no, girl. That nigga and his family are dream killers. Don't you do it, babe. God. And it's like, I gotta go hard for this. Because I feel like God was going hard for this and me. He was like, babe, you got too much to do. Summer bucket list is too big. Even though this thing has happened, traumatic, yeah, kinda. I'm still going to give you the strength and give you the willpower to carry this out fully. I'm going to bless you with the people to help you carry this out because you need to do this. And literally, that whole shit ain't stopped nothing. It ain't stopped shit. Did I need to take a couple of days here and there? Yeah. It ain't stopped shit. I could be broke down, crying, on the floor. I had to pick myself up, open that computer, and get to fucking work. Cause these niggas ain't no hating ass nigga bigger than the program. Ain't no hating ass bitch bigger than the program. And I'm just proud of myself because 2 years of Very Much So Pod, and look at what is given. Like, look at what is given, bruh. Look at what is giving. Look at what God is doing. So this is a testimony episode. I haven't done one of those in a while. Shout out to God. Join the newsletter. I'm starting a Substack too. Why? Because I want my content on there. I'm still probably gonna have to, or maybe I'll just link the Substack to my blog. I don't know. I want things to live on my blog, on my website. So there's that. One thing I want to do in 2026 is get to writing more. And even this year, I didn't do a newsletter every month, but I did. I was very close. So, there's so many different facets of this. And like, I'm so proud of myself. Like, I really am so proud of myself. I don't say it enough. I thank God for giving me the strength to do it. Whether I'm coming back home from work, working on the weekends, like, it's Christmas and I'm recording this, child, because I just had this idea and I'm just trying to like organize my thoughts because again, I'm just really excited for 2026 and I feel like every year I get sharper in my vision and it becomes more beautiful to execute, and the execution actually means a little bit more because of everything I've kind of learned and where I've come from. Again, never really considered myself creative until a few years ago. Which was why being at CultureCon was so beautiful because I'm just around people who are like me, like they think like me. Like there's an amazing creator I follow, Jael, Jael. She has her own business, Media More Co. And she also is the marketing team and this brand strategist behind Mary and Main. Amazing creative. Jael, she talks about having ADHD and just kind of like her process. And I think even people share things like that are really special because it's just no one size fits all. So to hear other people's perspectives and to kind of what their creative life looks like, and I think like her tagline is like a chaotic creative girly. It's just powerful because these brains are, and our gifts and our talents are just beautiful to have. Definitely don't want them to go to waste. And so the theme for 2026, if you have not caught on yet, is to use your gifts and talents. We are using our gifts and talents in 2026. The premise of Summer Bucket List has been for folks to share their gifts with others, and then you help the whole community. And even I went over my friend's house yesterday, Joy, shout out to Joy, hosting me for Christmas Eve. We had a bomb time. She's showing me her paintings and she was like, oh yeah, like I didn't even really know I could paint until I just started painting. So like, yeah. And I'm like, Joy? I was like, Joy, you're an artist. Like, these are fantastic. Like, what? And I just was so floored. I was so floored. And now that I talk about it, I'm gonna have to ask her to paint me something, because I need me a Joy piece in the building. Now I gotta see if she's taking commissions. Immediately I was like, well, we're gonna have to do a paint and sip, boo. Like, we're gonna have to do a cute little paint and sip. Maybe we can do that for Galentine's. Anywho, I'm gonna wrap this up now, but God is doing his big one. This will not be my last testimony, last message, last episode about this 2-year and sorry, y'all, I got a little cough, child, about this 2-year anniversary. I'm just so thankful to God for guiding me, thankful to God for like keeping me going, like the amount of persistence and consistency it takes, and like every week will not look like the last, but baby, I've been consistent with this, okay? It is just a part of my life at this point, and I kind of promised myself with Thank Me Later, I'm like, I'm gonna give myself a year. And like, if I still want to do it after a year, then I'm gonna do it. Like, if I'm still doing it after a year, then like, I'm not gonna stop. I'm not gonna stop till it ain't no ceiling. Like, that's just how I feel. I don't even know how to finish that sentence, but I just knew like I wasn't gonna stop. And so I'm very thankful for my ideas continuing to evolve, and for God just continuing to use me as a vessel. And the way it's expanded and grown. Like, I did not write this story, baby. I am a participant, and God is like the best author. So I hope that y'all can come and celebrate with me. Let's see, y'all. March, because I was going to do it in February, but I may actually just do the Galentine's that 13th. I'm going to ask Joy if she's free. And I'm going to do March 21st. I'm going to move it to the end. Okay? So I'm going to send out this Partyful now, but I kind of want people to have a physical, maybe a magnet or something. Maybe that can be like the giveaway gift that everybody kind of gives, actually. But I don't know, I feel like it's kind of lost with people receiving mail, but it's not cheap either. Okay, RSVP. If you would like an RSVP, then join the newsletter. Or just DM me on Instagram at verymuchsopod. I'm going to ask y'all a question, and I want y'all to like talk to me about it. What are some talents and gifts that you want to be sure to use in 2026? And or in what ways are you allowing God to use you? I want to make sure I also say that like obedience is key, and also God, when he puts something on your heart, you will not be able to rest until you just do what you need to do. Case in point, me renaming and rebranding Very Much So Pod from Thank Me Later up in the middle of the night, just changing usernames, not really just knowing what all of this is, which is now merch, which is now events, which is now grants, which is now brand activations. If I could pat myself on the back a little bit and just pick up my skill set a little bit for Thank Me Later, I did kind of pay for people, and my friends at the time had raised money for me and like all pulled together for me to hire somebody like off Fiverr and allow them to brand the podcast. And that was a very beautiful thing. They surprised me with that for like my 28th birthday, I think. But with Very Much So Pod, I was not working. And I was like, okay, well, like, let me just do it. And so the logo, the sub logo, the brand fonts, which, do I need to tighten up my brand kit? Sure. But all of the branding has been by me. And I've started to brand my videos more just like on TikTok and Instagram, just for like visual identity. Like, I need to post this video about within the Party of One series, me in Nashville, how I picked my hotel and the strategy that went into that, and how much I paid for like my birthday solo trip. Watch the Memphis episode, y'all. But I put like the title of the video in the corner, and I put my logo in another corner, and it's just like, I want people to know that this is very much outside, this is Very Much So Pod, this is who I am. And I just want to be intentional about that, because I know I show up, I have different hairstyles, I talk about a lot of different things, but I want there to be a visual look behind that ties together all of these 3 pages. Who I also want each of them to kind of have their own identity in a way, and like elements that make them unique, because they are kind of They are all Very Much So Pod, but they do all kind of stand alone, like my Bookstagram. I do Very Much So Pod, but I have read like 27 books this year. And how I talk about it may not be the same way I talk about music or travel, but this is also what the Bookstagram community can know me for. And when you see it also coming from Very Much So Pod, it doesn't feel that different. Which, even saying all this, is just so funny because, again, I do not have a marketing background through like a degree, with a degree, because I am a little bit of a nerd. I know that there's still like a lot that I need to learn and just kind of want to understand as I get deeper into it, not just for like my career, but for the brand in general. So I do want to get my MBA. It's just crazy how my mind even works with marketing sometimes. And, the stats and everything just really interests me. And so one thing you'll see on, like, especially lately, I've been just kind of celebrating my growth in terms of like follower growth, subscriber growth, metrics on content. I had this one piece of content I talked about in Nashville at the National Museum of African American Music, and it performed on TikTok, and I just happened to bring it to Instagram because I was like, okay, whatever. And then it's performing on Instagram, and then it also was performing on YouTube. And it's just so interesting for me to see a piece of content that like performs on all three platforms. Like, I don't know if I've ever had that happen. So I'm like, okay, I did something right, which was not really an edited video, but it's just teaching me how my content strategy should even evolve in 2026. And so anywho, obedience. With Summer Bucket List, I feel like I was obedient. Had an idea, immediately acted on it. It came into being what it was. Sometimes you just also just have to force yourself and just tell somebody and they will hold you accountable. And I'm just grateful for the people around me who do that and who allow me to volunteer them and say, hey, you're really good at this. Can you teach this? And often with Summer Bucket List specifically, they've told me like, wow, like I would have never done this had you not asked me. Or it's Summer Bucket List is really amazing because it really shows people around them how powerful their gifts are. And I love kind of being just a witness of that, honestly. It also reminds me of how powerful my gifts are when it comes to marketing and all this podcast stuff and branding and things like that. So yeah, Anywho, God is hilarious. He's very funny, but he's also just very intentional. So I just really thank him for how this podcast has grown and how it continues to grow. Love you guys. Thanks for listening. This is a beautiful thing for me to share. A lot of announcements baked into this one. Constantly praying for protection around what is to come, me, myself, my family, and my friends. And I hope that everybody has a safe, just wishing a beautiful 2026 on everybody. On everybody, y'all. Have an amazing time, y'all. Be safe. I pray that everybody is blessed with just like love that is so safe and warm and feels like a hug and is comforting. Bonus points if that love is coming from you. I was talking earlier just about putting God first, and the amount of surrendering I even had to do before I got the job I had now. I had such a concept of what I felt like my next career step should have been. And I had to continuously surrender to God. Like, I let your will be done. I don't want to get in your way of what you're doing and the places you already have for me, that no matter if I quote unquote accept it or not, ain't nothing gonna shake until I just trust that you are in control and your plan is better than mine. That was a huge learning for me last year. Like, even if you do everything right, if God don't want you in that place, you ain't supposed to be there, baby. You ain't gonna be there. Okay? He will close a door. He can open any door, but baby, he gonna close a door if he needs to. Same way he did with UX. Same way he did with a lot of those jobs. And I was getting tons of interviews, which is why I'm like, oh my God, just pray for me, y'all. Thanks for listening. I'm gonna close it out here. Love y'all. I need to make a graphic for Very Much So Pod. Anywho, love y'all. Toodles.